So welcome back to my channel. So if any of you guys have been keeping up with Heather for a while, then you guys probably recognize the name Ed. And Ed used to be one of her sponsors. He helped her out, like he paid for her phone bill for a while until he finally had enough and decided to shut it off. And then she started dragging him. So yesterday afternoon, Heather decided to send an email out to Eric and numerous other people. I did notice in the list of people she sent her email out to, there was Alexis, and I really hope this is not her daughter, since she has a daughter by the name of Alexis, and she's been exposed before for texting her daughter begging for money. So she says, as most of you guys know, I've been unlawfully displaced from my home and my family since January of 2020 following Dylan's release from the prison and the corruption surrounding his release in the show Love After Lockup. And just FYI, a lot of this is the same spill she's always saying, but I just want to share everything for context because Eric ends up clapping back at her. She claims since then she has been stalked, hurt, and harassed out of 21 different jobs, and she says my home, my vehicle have been destroyed just 2 months after making my final payments, and I have filed 7 in-person as well as electronic petitions in that time with the court system in Chicago. I have sent hundreds, if not thousands, of follow-up emails and calls regarding these issues, as well as the attack and resulting essay that took place in 2021 and possibly again in 2022. I am separated from my 3 children who I've raised as the primary custodial parent since the day I gave birth to them, and when the money I had saved from the show and working DoorDash ran out, I was unable to even afford an Airbnb. She claims she's made over 8 requests for shelter and into my now 30th week of pregnancy with my baby number 4, the only thing keeping me alive at this point, and I remain outdoors and have not spent a single night indoors since February of 2023. Ironically, my baby is due to be born on February 15th, so the day after Valentine's Day, and we need indoor housing and understanding before that time. I have a bachelor's degree and no criminal record. I have 3 children. I've been the primary, okay, so pretty much the same thing she's just saying. I'm a writer, a model, and a medical administrator. I have 15 plus years of experience. She explains that she's been working on her own company, GoPro Solo, since 2015. So she's had her own company for over 8 years now, going on 9. And I don't think she's made a single dime off this production company yet. At this point, it's not a business, it's just a hobby. And she says, if you can make a holiday donation, then please do so. And I wouldn't be surprised if she sent this email to Dylan's mom too. Because Dylan exposed Heather in the past for sending messages like this to his mom. And he even said his mom gave in a few times and would send her $200 here and there. So then Ed ended up responding. He said, F off, you delusional C word. First off, the apartment was in his name and he got a restraining order against you and had you lawfully removed from his apartment. Yes, it sucks, but that's life, and I agree. She's living in the past. He says stop dwelling on it and move on. Secondly, with regards to the apartment, the lease has long since expired and you have no income and a result no way to pay for it. The only reason you keep losing jobs is because of your own erratic behavior. You destroyed your own car, you admitted it to me directly, and you couldn't afford to fix it. You also admitted that it wasn't worth fixing because the cost exceeded the value. The reason why none of your complaints go anywhere is that you have zero proof of anything or fail to act when asked. You didn't follow directions because you feel that you're above the rules. Secondly, anything that you think happened to you is old and past the statute of limitation. Thirdly, due to your erratic behavior, you simply are not credible. You are not separated from your children. You legally lost custody of them. I've seen the court orders. Because you chose not to show up then doesn't make it unlawful. You've been offered shelter through the city's resources. Just because you don't like their rules doesn't mean that anyone is forcing you to stay outside. You're the worst mother on the planet. You are simply an egg donor. You should have your tubes tied so that way you can't bring any more children into the world. And you owe me way too much money as it is, so F off with your request for more. No one owes you ish. Maybe if you actually applied for a job that you're qualified for, you could get a job. He ain't wrong though. I almost wonder if she applies for a job she's underqualified for on purpose just so she can have the receipts to show she applied, but that way she doesn't actually have to worry about getting the job because she doesn't meet the qualifications. He says no one is hiring you as a writer. Your writing is poor. You're not a model. You work at the hospital. It's ancient history and it was low level work. You never finished college, therefore you don't have a bachelor's degree. You in fact do have a criminal record. I've seen it. So do the world a favor, grow the F up, accept responsibility for your actions, and move the F on with your life. Sincerely, everyone that you harass for money. Shout out to We Are BCG on Instagram because they posted this picture saying this is probably how Heather was looking when she got this email response from Ed. And I wouldn't be shocked if that's exactly how she looked. So I went back to see what else Ed had to say about Heather on Reddit. And a while back, this Amy girl came forward and she claimed that Heather lived with her and she was helping Heather out. And she claimed that Heather stole her identity and that's how she was able to get the Cadillac. So Ed ended up responding to someone talking about it and he said some of this doesn't add up. The car she bought was financed by a legitimate bank who verifies identities and the address where the title was sent after the car was paid off was Amy's. It wasn't some self-financed used car lot. And she was a co-signer, which is why Heather was able to call and get info on the loan from the bank. Not exactly what happens when someone's identity is stolen to get a loan. Now, Heather may have manipulated her into co-signing, but that's not the same as stealing her identity to do it. Both are wrong, but stealing her identity would rise to another level and would be a prosecutable offense. And Heather was trying to tell people that Amy stole her title when it did get sent to her house, and Heather showed up at her doorstep demanding the title back from her dad. I don't feel bad for Heather at all. She keeps crying about how she's so cold in her tent, but she said that she has been trying to get into different homeless shelters and places for her and Xavier to stay. And the other day, she was going off on Instagram because the 311 people finally called her and said they had shelter for her, but she refused to go because it's the same place that they're housing immigrants. And she's like, I'm not an effing immigrant. And she said, I'll go to the suburbs, but I'm not going here or there. And it's like, come on, beggars cannot be choosers. So at this point, it's her choice to keep staying outside when she's had resources offered to her. And she keeps holding on to this hope that Xavier's dad is going to get them this luxury apartment because she claims Xavier's dad offered to get them an apartment. And she's posting all these apartments she's looking at and they're like $2,000 a month. It's like, girl, first of all, if someone's going to help you, I know for sure they ain't paying no $2,000 a month for an apartment. And Heather has about 2 months left to go before her baby is here, and I hope the hospital takes the baby once it's born. If they end up letting that baby go back to the tent with her and Xavier, I'm going to be pissed because that is neglectful on the hospital's part. I just feel so bad for that poor baby. Just imagine coming into this world and having Heather and Xavier as your parents. That was just, oh my gosh. But hopefully that baby gets a chance at life with somebody else and flourishes. If having a baby is not enough of a reason for you to get your crap together, then I don't think anything is. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Right now I have a huge Christmas sale going on, and my lashes and lip gloss make the perfect gift for yourself or a stocking stuffer for somebody else. So check that out if you're interested. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.